Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a psychic tarot reading for you, tuning in to the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. All right. The overall energy of today's reading is the Three of Wands in reverse. This is a timing card for me. Feels like something is taking longer than expected. There's also something about not having the energy or the endurance, the stamina. There's some level of exhaustion here because something has taken longer than expected. More wand energy, the Knight of Wands. This is a world builder type of card. This is someone who goes after what they desire. So it looks like, if this is your energy, viewer, that you are a world builder, that you have something you're creating. Oh, I also just noticed that this horse is a unicorn, has a little horn. Are you a unicorn? Are you world building, creating something you desire, and it's taking longer than expected? Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Something's not working. What's the Eight of... Okay. A lot of challenges hidden. Oh, okay. Okay, something wasn't working. Lovers reversed. Moon reversed. Okay. Feels like you got a story you want to tell me. You're world building and it's taking longer than expected because it looks like you are putting a lot of time and effort into a relationship that didn't work out. And this relationship was challenging. Ooh, okay, challenging because it doesn't feel like you can go after what you desire within this relationship. Feels like in this relationship, you're focused on this relationship, on this other person. This is interesting. I'm also getting a message that something's coming out around a past relationship. It doesn't feel like you're with this person anymore. It does look like this past relationship, it was a challenge to find success within the relationship. This is definitely not the relationship you thought you were going to spend so much time on. This type of relationship, it feels like it's very painful. Ten of Swords. Feels like it ended very painfully. Feels like from within this relationship with the High Priestess in reverse, you you don't have access to your intuition. This feels like an enmeshed relationship. Very well could be. And kind of, you don't know where this other person ends and you begin. And so if you have somebody else's energy up in your space, You can't do anything. You can't move their energy. You can move it out, but you can't create with someone else's energy. You can co-create if you're both in agreement, but you can't really utilize someone else's energy in your space. It just takes up space and it's confusing. So it feels very enmeshed. So it feels like you're a world builder going after what you desire, and it's taking you longer than expected, longer than you think it should have, because of a pit stop, a relationship that kind of took you in a different direction. Looks like a lot of important lessons. I just heard invaluable lessons about learning how to run your energy, how to relationship, how to relate, what works, what doesn't work. The difficulty with this type of relationship is that the healing, all the lessons happen when you leave that toxic type of enmeshment. The growth is amazing. The healing can be. You can stay stuck and not heal. But if you're willing, and if that's what you're interested in, what you learn leaving these environments is just invaluable. What can I say? Invaluable lessons. It feels like you needed to learn some lessons before this world building energy. Three of Wands. If you remember, the overall energy is the Three of Wands in reverse, and that's my timing card, and that something's taking longer. Now that we explained why it's taking longer, boom, now you're at Three of Wands upright, which is a timing card that tells me that you're a lot closer than you think you are to whatever you want to create. This fella here is looking out over what he thinks is a desert and thinking, oh my gosh, I've been traveling across, hill after hill in this desert. And finally he crests this hill and he's like, oh, I still have so long to go. But then all of a sudden he notices that there are boats, that this is an optical illusion, and there's water right there. And oh my gosh, I'm there. I'm so much closer than I expected. So this feels like what the overall energy of this reading is, that you've had a relationship. I'm not seeing it as all bad, unless you want to perceive it that way. I'm seeing that you can really utilize, after you leave the environment, the lessons, the growth, the healing, the maturity that you get, that you can, if you choose to heal from it and choose to find the lessons and learn from it, then it's amazing how quickly you get to your destination, to whatever. You're a lot closer than you think. Wow. All right. Okay. Next up, we're looking at hidden blessings. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Once you recognize who to invest in, and more importantly here, who not to invest in, priceless lesson. When you recognize, oh, I'm not interested in investing in that person, that energy, there's so much wisdom, less time wasted. It looks like a lot of clarity, like you know yourself on the other side of this relationship. You've met yourself in very profound ways. And it feels like I don't have a moment to waste, and I'm not going to invest in anyone or anything that's not what I'm interested in. 5 of Wands. More of that wand. I think you're going after something you desire, something that you're willing to fight for. This feels like, with all this wand energy, it feels like you're going after your highest excitement, what you desire. You're not investing. You've definitely learned who to not invest in. That's definitely helped. And what to fight for. And what to... That has the Kenny Rogers Gambler song, know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. That whole gem of a song is coming up in the Hidden Blessings. Like, you've learned so much from your past. You've allowed your past to really... Okay. Can't tell if this is more of a past story or if this is future imaginings. Because we've got 2 of Cups, 9 of Cups, Page of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, Queen of Wands in reverse. Who's the Queen of Wands in reverse? Oh. Okay, yeah. For those of you who were in this past relationship and there was a third party, you're not hearing it here. I am not here to feed your delusions. This is if you know there was a third party in this past relationship that was brought up. It feels like the third party is a blessing. It looks like your relationship, like you were in a comfort zone relationship, afraid, not knowing how to imagine yourself, imagine your life on the other side of the fears without this person. It feels like having a third party come in kind of got you out of maybe your complacency. Tell me more about this 2 of Cups. This actually looks lovely. It looks like you're learning a different way to relate. It looks like you're not centering someone else in a relationship. Figuring out how to have partnership, equality, equity. Not someone who there's something here about getting over needing someone to take care of you in a kind of a parental. So looking at your partner in a romantic relationship more as a parent, someone to care for you, someone to make your decisions for you. It feels enmeshed. It feels like in kind of not really fully launching from childhood healed and ready to take on adult roles. It feels like leaving family of origin with a lot of unhealed wounds and belief systems that you need someone else. You need a romantic partner. And so there's a lot of fantasy and projections and acquiescing. And in what's hidden, it feels like you recalibrate, reconnect the dots in a different way, and relate to relationships differently. For some of you, it looks like you're not wanting to get back on that ride, that roller coaster of relationships, needing someone else. It looks like you're connecting with your higher self and centering yourself, enjoying life. Without that, like, it feels like if you're choosing to have a relationship, then it's by choice. It's not coming from I need to be coming from fear or an unmet need. Okay, so it looks like leaving this relationship and the maturing and the growth that I'm talking about, part of that is learning how to meet your unmet needs. Instead of having a bunch of unmet needs and yearning for someone else to meet your unmet needs, becoming the adult in the room and learning how to meet your own needs, how to parent yourself. Okay. Moving on to what you're leaving behind. We've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. Wow, you're letting go of an old foundation, an old way of being that you thought, well, this is as good as it gets. I've got to hold on to this. It could what if it gets worse? What if this is as good as it gets? And if I let go, then it's even worse. So it looks like you're letting go of limiting beliefs and believing I can create something better than this. I can create more. Wow. Okay. This is what you're leaving behind. There's something here. Some of you feels like some of you are entrepreneurs. There's something you're wanting to create. Very wand, fiery energy. This is also wand energy taking action. This isn't about sitting around. This is about taking action. Not waiting. Not not waiting around, waiting, but this is taking action. This might be what you're leaving behind is having to make your moves in silence, like hiding your own desires. It feels like you're also leaving behind Ace of Cups in reverse, overgiving, giving from an empty cup. Being in a relationship that's not loving. If you don't feel loved and you don't feel cared for, if you're the only one giving and giving from an empty cup until you have nothing left to give, and then when you feel a little bit of energy, then you give more to others. It feels completely depleting. Feels like you might at some point be completely depleted, exhausted. No care, no love coming in. Feels like someone has told you at some point that this is love. This is love. Why aren't you happy? So gaslighting too. So you're leaving behind something that is not loving, activities that are not loving. Giving all of yourself to someone who doesn't give back is not loving. That's not a loving activity. Someone who's cruel, someone who doesn't care, and someone, So you're leaving that behind. How to get the most of this energy is the Two of Swords in reverse. You're coming out of a fog of confusion. To a lot of truth, a lot of clarity. Also, it feels like what would be helpful is head over heart thinking. making decisions from your upper chakras. What does the viewer, whoever's listening, what do they... Okay. More of that wand energy. And this time 8 wands. It's take action. Once you have the clarity where there's confusion, act. Take action. Leave. Move. Go. There's a lot of action. Taking action. Making moves. This doesn't feel like talking. This feels like 3D making moves. It's wild. It definitely, the solar plexus chakra, where your ribs meet, is your seat of personal power. And this reading, very yellow. That Coldplay Yellow song just started playing in my head. And we were all yellow too. I've been on fire. I've been alive for you. Okay, what's supporting you is 10 of Pentacles. Viewer, do you have it feels like you might be building something. Something that you're taking action on. Something that you're leaving behind, a legacy. This might be something you work on for the rest of your life. Abundance. This is amazing. This feels very stable, very secure. There's something about your life, your experiences that have really, if you allowed them to shape who you choose to be. And it feels like you've got information from your experience, information about your life, about your perspective. It feels very helpful if that's what you're doing. It feels like by going after what you desire, being the person you prefer to be, healing from past experiences and world building, creating what you prefer, and following your excitement. Taking action, and it feels like you're building a legacy, something tangible in the 3D, 10 of Pentacles. This feels like a lot of stability. Boy, it's so grounded, and yet maybe you're imagining. I think what's supporting you is it feels like you're imagining. This doesn't feel like fantasy. It feels like you are picturing what you would prefer the world to look like, from what you've learned in the world. And it feels like a world that's very stable, very secure. Look at you. Are you a Jedi Knight with your lightsaber? And even the outfit's giving Luke Skywalker. For surezies. So it feels like you're speaking truths. Willingness to set yourself apart, speaking truths, learning a new way. This feels like this does have, like, from the beginning, world building, building a legacy. Beautiful, beautiful energies. Okay, what to be mindful of is justice, balance. The best way I've found to create justice is to embody whatever energies that you're wanting to embody them. They're not a frequency, something outside of you can't come into your experience unless you're a match somehow, frequency-wise. And so to have justice, to create justice in my life, I've had to be balanced in my thinking. This is talking about being balanced. Don't go down a rabbit hole in your thoughts. Yeah, staying balanced. This feels like mentally and in your actions, but it feels like it starts in your thoughts. All right. How can the viewer create justice and balance in their life? Four of Cups in reverse. Some energies coming back, an opportunity that you passed on at some point. Two of Cups, Seven of Cups. Okay. Two of Swords in reverse came out in how to get the most of this energy, and now Two of Swords is upright, fog of confusion. With someone who's treats you like an option and keeps you in a fog of confusion. It feels like they just want access. They want access to you. This feels like X. We are in retrograde, Mercury retrograde. What, until August 12th, I think? So being mindful of this person coming back in your energy, treating you like an option, and causing that fog of confusion. What would help the viewer with this? Oh, Eight of Swords in reverse. You're not blinded anymore. I feel at some point you were kind of willfully ignorant because you had to stay blinded to the truth about this person to stay in the relationship because it was kind of a false reality. Looks like you set yourself free with the Eight of Swords in reverse. You're no longer kind of in that programmed thinking. Whatever you say, okay, you get to decide, I'll just follow. That kind of energy. It looks like you see this person clearly. It looks like you've turned your back on them with Queen of Pentacles. Maybe you're gray rocking. It feels like you're focused on your future. It doesn't feel like you're trying to hurt anyone or do anything. You're just focused on what you're building, world building. And this person just is a Klingon. Captain, we've got Klingons. Tons of Star Wars and now Star Trek. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's your reading. If this has been resonating and you want to continue on, there's a link in the description box below. It says part 2 here, or extended reading here. You follow that link, it takes you directly to the extended reading, part 2, on Patreon, where I'll be looking at health, relationships, creativity, new opportunities, and career and finance. I'm basically halfway through the reading. So if you want to join me over there, I'll see you there. And if not, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. All right, take care.